As a GM or a player, have you ever asked yourself, why am I here? Why am I doing this? What are these factions that I'm fighting, and why should I keep investing my time to do it? Today, our thoughts are on Tehime, or to some, theme. See you on the other side. I'm Baba Tucker.
And I'm Jackson Dean Chase, and together we're MageGate Games.
If you love role-playing games and rolling dice, then you're in the right place. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and so you never miss another video. Today's video question is about themes. The actual question was themes in your game, and there's so much to unpack there. Let's be a little more descriptive with our questions. But with us who are ideators, this made us think of a bunch of stuff. So yeah, we have a few things to talk about when it comes to theme at your table, and with your games. So let's start with the biggest thing, which is the theme of your game. Jackson, you got any thoughts about that?
Sure. Well, there's the classics, man versus man versus nature, and you could always do man versus monster. Those are classics. You can't go wrong. Man versus man, obviously, you're going up against other men or humanoids, and it could be an evil empire, it could be the ruthless baron, and his soldiers, or an alliance of other nobles, or a cult, or a cabal of wizards, or a thieves guild. Anything like that would be man versus man.
Right.
And there's a lot to do there,
Right.
and that's more. You can really go more city based, urban type action with something like that if you want. I mean, obviously, it could be as rural as you wanted too,
Yeah.
but and wilderness based. But yeah, man versus man really lends itself to urban.
I think with man versus man, we also think about certain ideas versus other ideals, like ideals and ideas. Two factions who are saying like, oh, let's take like a very easy one, and normally one that people are having a hard time with, but I kind of like xenophobia or racism, or like slavery, things like that, when they have like a caste system, and then you have that versus caste system, more free, and having to deal with that conflict. That is definitely this man versus man type of thing, where it's these ideals coming into conflict, and having these factions come against each other. In doing that, I think it gives, right, obviously it's turmoil, and that's the best kind of campaign world has turmoil in it, unless
Conflict.
you want to go from a showing people a peaceful world, it's a utopia, and then somebody created something which destroys that, or summons something that, oh, this AI is going to do wonders for us, and now we're in servitude, and like, right, like, and but that man versus man idea of factions versus factions can really flavor your game, I think.
You could do barbarian tribe versus barbarian tribe, or barbarian tribe versus druids and rangers, or some kind of nobles. The kingdom is trying to expand their borders, and oh look, there's these people here. We need to displace them by however we do that. And oh yeah, because we need to be here, and they
Right.
clearly don't, despite the fact they've always been here. But nah, that was then. This is now, and now we need to capitalize on their resources and exploit all this lovely nature and chop it down and ship it out and get rich.
Right.
So that could be an example of a wilderness man versus man. Um, and yeah, so wanted to give like that kind of thing. So it's not just it's
Right.
just urban. With rural, it could be as simple as like neighboring villages, and each one is a different feudal estate run by a different lord, and they don't like each other, and maybe the peasants, filthy peasants, they don't like each other either for whatever reason. Maybe they worship a different god, or better yet, they each worship the same God a different way. And of course, the other people are completely wrong. And it could
Right.
be just really subtle, stupid differences, like, oh, we worship on a Saturday. Oh, but we worship it on a Sunday. And oh, clearly you're all going to,
Right.
wherever the bad place is. And, we're going to the good place because, we know what's what. Um,
Right.
and or they celebrate different saints or different rituals, and that would be an example of keeping it simple and small. You can always expand your focus out from there, but that could be a fun way to start off a man versus man type
Right.
thing. Maybe they have a annual celebration, right? And
Yeah.
where they come together or whatever, and then maybe they're not, maybe they're friendly, and they come together and they work out their differences during an annual contest, right? But
Yeah.
maybe somebody's decided that for whatever reason that it's maybe not going to be so friendly this year,
Right.
and
Yeah.
some bad things happen, and that could be political, it could be, religious. It could be economic. There could be all kinds of reasons. Maybe, one of the heads of the other village is sick, and he's got two different heirs.
Right.
Or an evil uncle. Scar from the Lion King or whatever. Or the Lion Tribe.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can also go to an individual level, whoever they're, against or something like that. Maybe two wizards need to get this MacGuffin, like, oh, and you're hired by one of the wizards, and another group is hired by this other wizard, right? And now you have these two two groups that are, kind of just opposed, like you have, your opposite. It's your opposite that you're going to be fighting too, to get this MacGuffin. Maybe they've reached the dungeon where it's hidden before your group has, right? And this creates a whole bunch of stuff like, oh, you go in and these adventurers have messed up the whole balance between the factions that are already inside, and now they don't trust any adventurers that come in because this other one is just ruthless, or you're the ruthless ones. You're coming in, they're like, oh great, more people to trade with, and you're like, I'll take your goods. And yay. And that could come back and bite you. But yeah,
Hmm.
like I like that idea of, we can think of themes as large scales or small scale. So yeah, thinking about things like that with man versus man.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it could even how to expand that outwards. For example, back to the two the two villages, and each one worships a slightly different way, right? Well, guess what? You have your small conflict there, inter
Hmm.
village conflict or whatever, and then here comes the Grand Inquisitor or the witch hunters or whatever. Oh, these other people are heretics. Let's go over there and like expand this conflict out, and then
Yeah.
you could turn that into a whole campaign versus just a one off.
Yeah.
And yeah, and keep that theme going, and we'll come back to that idea later, but
Yeah.
let's move on to man versus I guess we should do man versus monster next, because that's close enough to man versus man, except now it's not other men, it's monsters. And that could be obviously it could be beasts of some kind of mutant beasts or monstrosities or whatever, but it could be like intelligent, just like not necessarily, humanoid, or like dragons, or it could be uh, other demons or devils or something like that. So I mean, they're still humanoid, but they're not a playable race necessarily. In the game, and mind flayers and stuff like that. It could be good. Speaking of mind flayers, Cthulhu. Cthulhu. Yeah, it could be great old ones, and trying to break through into our dimension, and yeah, that could be it too.
When it comes to the phrase monster or the word monster, is that it tends to be something alien to how we would think, right? Maybe their goal is just a biological goal, right? They're going to, take aliens from the Alien movie, right? Those things are there with their biological function just to take over. That's all they do. And they are completely, they don't care, whether or not you're an innocent or whether or not you are part of a faction. They just will take you. They will take you out, and I think that's the thing about monsters, is that they will change your environment or defile the innocent, without even thinking about it. So yeah, when you think about like the themes of what it is to defile an innocent an innocent, that could be an environment or like a group of people, and uh right, when designing monsters, yeah, the alien mind, not just the aliens, but an alien mindset of what is their function. Are they trying to take over? Are they trying to repurpose the world? Are they trying to repurpose or take over like a like mindset, like the Borg or something, like, right, like, or an alien entity that's just like, I will you're all going to become a hive mind. And right, that's something alien for us because we can't really think about that. We can't think about being connected to what we only have our mind, but like, what if we had the knowledge of everything else? And but that's an alien concept for us. And so that's like kind of the ideas that I get when I think about a theme versus like man versus uh monster, that it's really that defiling of innocence, or the defilement of the uh the normal consciousness that we're dealing with, or normal setting that we're dealing with, right? If you have like a natural setting, but once things are unnatural, like, even if we're having for example, like bear attacks, because they've been pushed out of their environment, those bears have become almost monsters in a way, because they are being forced upon this area, right? Or
Right.
whatever that is, like, or insects being pushed out. This insect swarms become monstrous for us because they have disrupted our normal daily routines, and civilized
Yeah. Yeah.
cultural structure, right?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
if what's pushing those beasts or swarms out of their normal habitat is an actual alien presence, an actual monster in the traditional sense? That could be fun because now you've got, what appears to be okay. Oh, it's bears. Okay, I know what a bear is. Yeah, I don't want to fight one if I don't have to, but I know I can kill it because I know it's a bear. But then you find out, wait a minute, you go, maybe you fight a bear, whatever, yay, great, good for you. And then you're like going around looking for more bear, the more bear attacks happen, you go out looking for more bears, and you find dead bears, and these bears have been like ripped apart, and you're like, what ripped this bear apart? Because it wasn't me, and yeah, I don't even do that. So what could have done this? And
Right.
that's when really bad things happen.
Right.
So that's when things all get amped up, dialed up to 11
Yeah.
in Spinal Tap terms.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. But that also takes us, I think, to man versus nature, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
We gotta, you think about this man versus nature, that's, I mean, you know the bears trying to take back their spots and their environment, their or whatever it is. uh we think about what is happening with the environment, and luckily for everybody, we came up with these awesome books of epic
What?
encounters and extreme weather and terrain. Like we have so many, and what these have done for me as a GM, because I think for me, I never want to make a book that's I won't use at the table. Like, it's hee hee hee. Oh, right. And these these have given wonderful ways of playing. I'm like, this, even just saying this acid book and taking, like, going back to the aliens type of, this alien hive or something like that has blighted this land, and now there's like acidic vapors that are wafting around, and how your players have to deal with that. And now your whole environment is themed like this. um and I really love that idea. I take it also down a notch too, into theming a dungeon, or a, like the game space. There was one time I had a group where they were inside a cave that was also mixed with a divine being. Like, it got grafted into the stone, and so they went through this membrane, went from stone into this membrane, and it was like a heart beating cave, and they had to go through the cave, which is, basically like arteries and things like that. And I had the sound of the heartbeat going, and depending on their roles and stuff, I would speed up the heartbeat, and that would make the body have different reactions, and different skill challenges and things for while that theme is going on, right? So um just that was the theme, was heart. Like, when I wrote it down, it was like the iron heart, because it was, there's this iron lands, and the blood has iron in it. And but I was like, oh, I'm gonna go into this heartbeat idea, and theme the whole place with this, with the inner layings of the body, or tissue and connective tissues, and like different white blood cells, or things that are going to be in the environment to attack things. And yeah, inside was a blood sucking parasite that was attached to that thing's heart. But yeah, had little eggs popping out and timers, like, oh, these things are gonna pop out, you can tell they're starting to hatch, you better hurry up and kill this thing. But yeah, that the the whole encounter and the whole dungeon just themed with that. And I love that idea of theming a dungeon, right? And so, with all the things that we have, like the acidic air, the radiant, the spiritual, the water, the, like, oh, right. um to go through those books is so inspirational for me, because I can just go like, oh, now I can think of this air temple, and just take the air book and be like, do yes, I'm gonna put that in there. And now the monsters that I know that are gonna be there or be influenced by air are in there, right? Like, it just inspires me to create these things quickly, which I love. I just
Quick
you
is
know,
good.
yeah, quick is good. So yeah, that's my thing about man versus nature. This environmental thing is very much what I think when I think man versus nature as a theme. um yeah, it's
Yeah. I mean, you could create your whole world like that too, like
yeah,
Dark Sun, you know? Yeah, going old
yes,
school. Of course, it's coming
yeah,
back. Yeah, good old Dark Sun, desert wasteland, and you can have all kinds of fun there. Or
Yeah.
or Al Qadim, that was another one, the Arabian setting. Yeah, but you could do like like a Viking Scandinavia type setting. You know, everything's all frosty and cold, and you got frost giants and stuff,
Yeah.
and all kinds of fun there. So you, or maybe there's a cult that's trying to activate the volcano god, right? Or maybe they're trying to appease the volcano god, but something goes wrong, and it's angry now, and oh, that means it's erupting. And oh, look, here comes the lava. Don't touch the floor. The floor is lava. And now you've got all these flame monsters and stuff to deal with, and on top of the lava and smoke inhalation, and the buildings are now on fire. Are you in
Yeah.
one of these buildings? Because now you might be on fire.
Right.
So
Right.
there's all kinds of stuff you can do, whether it's just like a quick little one shot environmental theme, or whether it's a campaign theme, where it's just you versus the environment. And but here's another thing. This leads me to I think our last our last bit here is combining the themes,
Yeah.
right? Because you can mix and match all you want, and it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to worry about, oh, is this going to get stale and played out? Well, no. Okay, let's say you got man versus man. Okay, you start off, oh, there's some mystery murders going on, and people are stealing stuff that doesn't make any sense, and what's going on with this, and you track down the deal, you uncover this cult, right? This conspiracy, this cult. Maybe you get through some thieves guild that they've hired first, and then you find out, oh yeah, you interrogate the thieves, and they're like, our bosses, yeah, these crazy people hired us, and we don't, it don't make any sense, but they paid really well, so
Mm.
we stole the stuff, whatever, we killed whoever, and hey, the silver spends the same, so. But then it turns out you go to find out that there's part of a crazy cult, and guess what? That stolen stuff, or those murders, or kidnappings, or whatever it was for. It was to summon their crazy evil god, a great old one maybe, or some kind of demon or a devil, or something horrible, right? And yeah, now it becomes man versus monster, or maybe they were trying to bring about a new ice age, or
Yeah.
set the volcano god off, and now it's man versus environment. So you can quickly transition from one to the other, and that doesn't mean you have to abandon the first one completely, because those cultists are still there. That's still man versus man, but now you've got man versus monster with the shambling horrors from beyond the stars or whatever.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that can be a lot of fun. Or like oh geez, I want to think with undead. Everybody loves the undead. Twilight. Not Twilight. No, but there could be man versus man. You're going up against these people who are doing like again, it could be like the cult, but it's like this Renfield guy or whatever, or a mad nobleman who's after immortality, and so they're trying to. And it happened. That was like the plot to one of those Hammer Dracula movies, and yeah, they resurrect the undead, for whatever their purpose is, right? And then they've served
Right.
their purpose, and then now you're dealing with man versus monster. Now you're dealing with the undead horrors that have been unleashed, or that they have turned themselves into, depending on, the context.
Right.
And yeah, then there you go. And maybe the undead, every time they're around, it gets cold. And now you've got man versus environment, man versus monster, so you can
Mm.
mix and match all you want, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah. And a lot of the stuff that you talked about made me like, I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm in the back of my mind just making campaign like stuff like, oh yeah, this would happen and this would happen. Like, oh yeah, all the once that whatever that thing has been, released into the world, now it is empowered, and like that environmental area of effect is spreading the more that either the cultists go somewhere, or whatever goes, like this volcano over here starts to erupt, now this volcano over here starts to erupt, and your players now have, only a certain amount of time to get things done. So if you're running a hex crawl, or just running a regular game, you have to go places. You have this, like, I okay, if we stay around this place, we're gonna be burned to death, or like, or
Right.
like run over by, overrun by undead, or what the fiendish
Hmm.
imps or whatever, right? Like this, whatever the minions are, or then that ramps up the closer you get to that harsher environment. But yeah, like trying to, we got to search for the ancient artifact to, counteract some of these things. Oh, maybe we can save one town out of this, but if we do, what's going to happen to the environment around? Are they going to be able to survive? Or this comes up with, come up with so many different things when
Hmm.
you're thinking about this, theme. Or at least for me, I just like,
Oh yeah.
this is all the, okay, yeah, my timer now, I got pressure,
Right.
and it was easy for me to understand like what factions would be wanting to, either stop it from happening. Now you have people to help mitigate that, or people who are trying to like push that forward. Oh yeah, like if it's you know let's say the desert is spreading, and people of the desert people who control, can, do sand magic, or whatever, they, of course they'd want it to be spread because they can deal with it, right? They are empowered by this stuff. Or the same with the flame, right? You're the person who's empowered by this, especially, right, we have that, our rituals and prophecies and rituals, or rituals and prophecies book out, and
Rites and rituals. Yeah. Game
rites and
Master's
rituals.
Guide to
Come
Rites
on,
and
right? It's
Rituals.
right. It's right there. It's right there.
Tongue twister.
So
Yeah.
rites and rituals. Sorry. Our rites and rituals book that just came out. Right. We have the sympathetic magic, and that's also in our in the extreme encounters books. Right. That empowering of magic makes the
Right.
factions run differently, right? Like if I am part of this, like, a wizard who is, adept at cold magic, right? This empowers them, and that then, or the creatures that they are. And I love that. I love being able to, understand like, okay, these things would be, at the forefront, or, if there is an invasion force, they're going to be empowered by this stuff. And, obviously, if you are that thing too, you'd be like, oh, right, like as a character, I don't mind it getting colder, or I don't mind this undead stuff happening, because I'm a necromancer, and I can actually like mitigate this stuff. What I think it would be cool to have that theme, as well as like, your characters. Sure, this undead army is coming, but maybe give your player the ability to, oh yeah, instead of animating undead that's like, just a pile of bones or whatever, you actually take one of those forces and turn it against the other people, right? Like that's cool, right? You just empowered your player, you just, with that theme, and like, yeah, just, and sure, you can turn a zombie into one of their, now it's theirs, and it takes one of those people out of the fight, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Sure, do it. Have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not all strict. Right? um but
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I was just thinking of prime examples from horror movies. 30 Days of Night, right? The vampires in the small Alaskan town, and oh, guess what? The sun is disappeared for like 30 days, and you are cut off from the rest of Alaska, and but you're not cut off from these vampires.
Right.
Or John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
Hey, we're in Antarctica, and oh, we found a spaceship, and oh, let's unthaw this horrible, weirdo alien monster. That oh, it can shape change, fantastic, and now we're doomed. You know,
Yeah.
So,
And
how do we
please,
get out of
in
this
your dungeon.
environment?
Right. Yeah,
You don't.
as yeah,
Yeah.
I think that those are great, awesome things to think about, right? Like, but pull from movies, as we said in
Mhm.
our last video. Pull from movies, pull from books, pull from any media that you feel like can inspire you to, you know, do this theme. I love it. It's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Themes.
Themes or teams, as some may say. Or teams. Is that? I
Exactly.
don't know. Is that how they really? I don't know.
I don't
I
I
need to
don't know.
I need to study again. I've been in Japan too long, forgetting English.
Yeah, yeah. I hope you guys have gotten a lot out of this video with like all this talk about different themes to consider and how to shrink them down or expand them or mix and match. There's endless stuff that you can do, and again, pull from movies, whatever sources you can. Just hey, grab a little bit from here, grab a little bit from there, and yeah, you can come up with amazing stuff. It doesn't, for example, 30 Days a Night. It doesn't have to be in Alaska, I mean, it doesn't even have to be in the frozen north. It could be, oh, it's in, a desert and the sun disappeared or whatever. A desert gets cold, right? I mean, or it could be, it doesn't have to be vampires. It could be, werewolves. And it could be 30 days of the full moon. I don't know.
Right.
It's your world. I don't know. But you can mix and match and swap things in and out, and yeah, have all kinds of fun.
Yeah. So if you're interested in the in what we've been talking about in our themes, go ahead and check out our books, man. They are inspirational and easy to use. That's what I love about our format. They are so easy to use. Everything's bolded, like the format. Oh, chef's kiss. And yeah, I want to know if you've ever run a game with themes. What kind of themes did you use? Tell us down in the comments. And I'd love to hear if you have any questions. Let us know. Yeah. And maybe your question could be featured on one of our videos. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll catch you in the next one. If you'd like to see more things like this, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell icon. If you feel like supporting us and helping us bring more things to you and our community through the MageGate, go ahead and check out our links in the description below and join our Patreon. If you haven't picked up your free Heirloom Magic Item PDF, go ahead and check out our website where you can get that for free. Thank you so much again, and see you in another video.